Mr. Sues a lot. Floyd Mayweather is suing for $175 million in fraud, claims missing jewelry, his own jet, and more money. And when you find out who Floyd Mayweather is suing.
But when you're spending $20, $30 million per year, that $100 million can dry up pretty quickly, which is why he now needs to exit retirement to fight Manny Pacquiao.
You hire people that eventually turn on you. It happens all the time. And it's a shame that it's happening to Floyd Mayweather. It's a shame that it's been happening for years.
For many years, people across the world accepted a carefully crafted image. Floyd Money Mayweather created a billion-dollar brand around the idea that his wealth would never run out. His lavish way of living seemed beyond reach, and his ability to manage money appeared second to none. Yet away from public view, a serious financial crisis has drained much of his available funds and pushed him into a difficult position. The boxer who became famous for protecting himself inside the ring is now stuck in a tough struggle with people close to him while trying to keep everything from falling apart.
Oh man, I've been hearing things about this story and I've been avoiding it because I thought it was all cap. Even when this telltale sign was right there in your face, with Floyd coming out of retirement, it seemed pretty clear that he needed more money because why would he risk his career? He went out saying the best ever, 50-0, like, you know, he was really big on those stats, those numbers, so why come out of retirement now unless you need the bread, bro? And then wait this damn long? That shit sound wild to me. But nevertheless, we had this news right here that Floyd was hit by the IRS with a $7.3 million lien for unpaid taxes for 2018 and 2023. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, that says something.
The situation became even more intense when Floyd's longtime rival shared his honest opinion. Golden Boy Promotions CEO Oscar de la Hoya spoke openly about Floyd's unexpected financial troubles and described the whole ordeal as unfortunate. However, rather than simply showing sympathy for his former opponent, Oscar argued that Floyd's own decisions and failure to properly manage the people around him played a major role in the downfall. He explained that many athletes earn huge amounts of money at a young age, but are rarely taught how to protect and maintain that wealth over time.
How would you feel now that, what do you tell them? Especially you have a promotion, you've been a businessman. Mayweather's getting, there's a lot of suing, a lot of scamming going on. How do you...
Is that real? Is that true?
Apparently. So how do you...
Is it?
What do you tell fighters, to, even though there's this, you have wealth, there's ways to mess it up?
No, absolutely. Look, and it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking about a new segment that I want to come out with, giving advice to fighters or giving advice to athletes who come across a lot of money. And then what do you do with it? Then you have to hire people, you have to hire lawyers, you have to hire agents. So now you have all these people around you, right? And sometimes, and most likely, you hire people that eventually turn on you. It happens all the time. And it's a shame that it's happening to Floyd Mayweather. It's a shame that it's been happening for years to not only athletes, but celebrities or people who are making tons of money because they're not managing their circle. They're not managing their life, And it's your circle that's all important. You must hire people. If you're going to hire people that are going to look out for your money and you're going to trust those people, well, you better check.
According to de la Hoya, the worst mistake a successful boxer can make is placing complete trust in the wrong people. He shared that throughout his own business journey, he followed one important principle that helped protect him. The person responsible for oversight must also be monitored. Oscar believes that because Floyd did not have an independent person keeping a close watch on his finances, the people around him were able to take advantage of the situation once the flow of money began to decrease.
The checker checks the checker. I always live by that rule. If I'm going to hire somebody who's going to look out for my finances, I've had my finance guy for 25 years, the same guy. And there's a reason for that, because somebody else is checking him and somebody else is checking that other guy. So you have to be smart here. Look, we come across as athletes, we come across money fast at a young age. And nobody gives us a handbook. Okay, you have to invest in this and you have to hire a financial person to make sure that your taxes are paid, to make sure that you're investing money that works for you so you can pay off your debts, so you can pay off what you're spending, So it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of tedious work. But sometimes athletes they don't have the time for it. So they hire somebody who they think they can trust. And that's, I believe, exactly what's happened to Floyd Mayweather right now, you know, unfortunately, because he made a lot of money, but the secret to being successful is keeping it.
His failure to maintain proper oversight eventually sparked a major legal battle. Floyd surprised the sports world when he filed a huge $175 million lawsuit against his former close associate and investment manager Jonah Renit. His legal team alleges that the manager carried out a large fraud operation, concealed important assets, and took substantial profits from private business arrangements. Despite these claims, several well-known legal experts in combat sports are viewing the case with doubt. They argue that Floyd's attorneys are presenting him as someone who was entirely unaware of what was happening with his finances and had no understanding of where his money was going.
Floyd Mayweather's ex-manager fires back at lawsuit. Floyd Mayweather filed a $175 million lawsuit against his former manager, Jonah Rechnitz, alleging widespread fraud. But Rechnitz has now responded. Jonah said the allegations are false, and he says he has the documentation to prove it. The lawsuit's most significant claim centers on $100 million worth of jewelry. Mayweather alleges Rechnitz used the pieces as collateral for a $13 million loan without his knowledge, and that he never received the money. Rechnitz disputes both elements of that account. He says that he has text messages showing Mayweather was fully aware the jewelry was being pawned, along with photos and video placing the pieces in Mayweather's hotel room at the Fontainebleau in Miami, followed by footage of cash later that same day, after the exchange with the jeweler had been completed. Rechnitz also alleges he previously helped Mayweather secure a $1 million loan from New York jeweler Avi & Company, using an $18 million watch as collateral, a transaction he says Mayweather participated in knowingly. Mayweather's lawsuit states that Rechnitz facilitated the sale of his Gulfstream jet but withheld the proceeds. Rechnitz says the money was paid in full, with the bulk of it going towards settling an existing multi-million-dollar loan on the aircraft. It's said that Floyd blew through all his money. I wrote him many letters concerning his spending habits, which are documented. I had many conversations with him about slowing down with the spending, but unfortunately, it caught up to him, and now he's looking to blame others. First, he blamed Al Heyman, and now he's blaming me. He is unhinged. I hope he can get back on his feet and control his spending.
He can.
Floyd can continue to lie that he didn't know about the airplane purchase or the jewelry pawn. The facts speak for themselves.
Throughout the boxing world, many experts believe this lawsuit is being used to distract attention from deeper issues. Analysts claim that Floyd has developed a habit of launching large, high-profile legal cases during difficult situations. They point to his previous $340 million dispute with Showtime and his $100 million case against Business Insider as examples. According to these critics, such lawsuits may be less about winning in court and more about discouraging others from pursuing payments and financial claims they believe are owed to them.
It's sad. It's just sad to hear, because you hear it in boxing a lot, where, you know, fighters, they risk everything. They risk so much, and then everything they took the risk for sometimes is lost. Whether it was Joe Louis, whether whoever, it never becomes not sad or unfortunate to hear. Never. It's a look. You could say it's their responsibility. It is. It is. You got to know what's going on, but there are also sharks in this business, in any business. And sometimes these athletes, I wouldn't even specify fighters. We're talking about fighters. But you hear it in football, Bud. You were around it. You hear it in basketball. Sometimes these athletes, they don't have the right people around them to look out for them, you know, to properly educate them, to properly advise them. Hey, some don't listen. Again, I'm not, you know, gonna be this guy who's gonna be gullible. I'm in the real world. Some don't listen, but some just don't get the right people around, and some get people around them that take advantage of them not being educated.
The weakest part of Floyd's entire legal argument centers on evidence that appears to tell a different story. In his court filing, he states under penalty of perjury that he had no knowledge of his manager's previous criminal issues related to federal wire fraud. However, investigative sports reporters claim they found documents that raise serious questions about that statement. A private character reference letter signed by Floyd and submitted to a federal judge was later revealed. In that letter, Floyd clearly expressed support for Jonah during his 2019 sentencing proceedings. Critics argue that this document shows Floyd was already aware of his manager's legal troubles years earlier, making it difficult to support claims that he was completely unaware of the situation from the start.
In a minute. The first big claim that Floyd makes is that he wasn't aware that in 2016 Rechnitz had pleaded guilty to wire fraud conspiracy, that Rechnitz had cooperated with the United States attorney, or that Rechnitz had been the subject of significant civil litigation. What Floyd's attorney was trying to do with this complaint is make it look like Floyd was taken advantage of by a guy with a questionable past, like Floyd is this innocent victim who had no idea who this guy really was. There's a little problem with that, because I have proof he did know. This letter on the screen was sent in 2023 by Floyd Mayweather to a U.S. District Judge for the Southern District of New York. The bottom includes Floyd's name and his signature. For context, this is Floyd Mayweather's letter to the judge in Jonah Rechnitz's case, speaking about Jonah's character and why he deserves a better outcome. In the second paragraph, he writes, "We became friendly and I supported him when he was going through the process of being sentenced in 2019. That sounds to me like he knew about Jonah's litigation in New York." In the third paragraph, he writes that Jonah has worked with him as his promoter and business advisor. He has taken the job and run with it, helping Floyd in every aspect and opening up new opportunities. He further mentions the charitable work they've done together. Further down, he mentions that people have tried to take advantage of Jonah by bringing lawsuits against him as a way to extort him. And finally, Floyd writes, "I appreciate you taking the time to read this letter, Your Honor. I would just ask that you consider my personal testimony that Jonah Rechnitz is a good person." He claimed that he didn't know about Jonah's past in the complaint, yet he wrote that letter in support of Jonah, showing he clearly knew about the litigation.
As questions about his credibility continue to grow, the full scale of Floyd's financial troubles has become a major topic of discussion. According to reports from celebrity jewelers and luxury industry observers, one of the most surprising claims involves his valuable collection of jewelry and watches. They allege that Floyd has been facing serious cash flow problems and has quietly used parts of his famous collection, reportedly valued at around $100 million, to generate funds and cover ongoing expenses.
So let's take a look at this. I don't mean to laugh because it's unfortunate, but it is Floyd Mayweather. Floyd, that's just a picture of him, has been told he is going to have to pay $1 million in back child support and $33K a month after knocking up a stripper. Mayweather, 49, was legally declared the father of a 4-year-old girl in March of 2026, with a judge writing the court finds Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the father of Price Moorhead. There's no way that this stripper named her daughter Price because she was about to put a price on Floyd Mayweather. That's crazy. That's the cost of doing business, Floyd. Name the baby Price. Moorhead says she was in a long-term intimate relationship with Mayweather, which lasted 8 years, until she claims he broke up with her when he found out she was pregnant in April 2021. Yeah, this seems like a very, I've told you guys that I don't think Floyd Mayweather's a good dude. And listen, I can separate the art from the artist. Floyd is one of the best boxers to have ever lived, but the guy dates a stripper for 8 years because she's an easy booty call, and because he also pays her money to strip at his club that he also attends and throws money at, so he's double paying this stripper and probably financing her lifestyle because, again, not good with money. But the moment he finds out she's pregnant, he breaks up with her. Real stand-up.
Industry experts say that many wealthy athletes become prime targets for luxury sellers and often spend large amounts on custom items that lose significant value when resold. Documents connected to the case reportedly indicate that Floyd sought quick access to cash by using around $13 million worth of luxury watches as collateral, and also included custom Birkin bags belonging to his partner. Reports further claim that his assistant recorded footage of the transaction showing large amounts of cash displayed inside a Miami hotel room, which critics argue was intended to maintain the public image of extreme wealth.
That Floyd was running out of money in 2020, so Jonah put together a fight with Logan Paul to generate income, as well as many other exhibition fights. Turns out the only people actually punching Floyd in the face at this time were the IRS debt collectors. More on that in a minute. The first big claim that Floyd makes is that he wasn't aware that in 2016 Rechnitz had pleaded guilty to wire fraud conspiracy, that Rechnitz had cooperated with the United States attorney, or that Rechnitz had been the subject of significant civil litigation.
Now, Floyd got in bed with these people. Now, my whole thing is we watched Floyd for years, showboat online, showboat in front of his people, do all kinds of weird stuff, talk about money, how much money he got, but we know he can't read. We know he can't read contracts, right? So now he get in bed with these W folks. We saw him pledging his allegiance to that protected group. We saw him. We saw him over there, and everybody was wondering, is that AI? Is that an AI video? No one wanted an AI video. He was in bed with them people, right? And now, you know, he was spending money crazy. They was getting him to make investments, and the whole time they was siphoning his money away, man. So we heard that he made over $750 million and maybe well over $1 billion, right? But then at some point he started hemorrhaging money. Why? How? Why didn't you have the people around you that you should have had, right? He said that he didn't know that dude Jonah, man, had you know, been in trouble with the feds. He testified, he did all this. He said he didn't know, but now these, you know, they done sent their folks out here now to bring receipts to make him look like he's a liar, right? They got the money, now they running, man. You ain't getting.
The financial pressure reportedly extended beyond his jewelry collection. Recent headlines suggested that Floyd's valuable multi-million-dollar Gulfstream private jet was transferred for a reported price of only $1, which led many fans to believe he had accepted an extremely unfair deal. Aviation industry specialists later offered a different explanation. They noted that private sales often include legal wording such as other valuable considerations, allowing the actual purchase amount and financial details to remain confidential rather than being disclosed to the public.
For payday. One of the other claims is about Floyd selling his jet and not receiving any money. There's mention in the complaint that the block for the purchaser was left blank. What the media misunderstood was that the plane wasn't sold for $1 like the complaint lists here. Here's the actual signed contract, which does list the consideration of $1 and OVC, and you can see Floyd's signature down below. I think what was misunderstood is that the plane didn't actually sell for $1. OVC means other valuable considerations, which means the sale was for more than $1. This happens when private parties don't want the amount known to the public. Here's the text message between Jonah and Floyd. Jonah sent the payoff letter from the lender of his private jet, as well as a letter from Navy Federal Credit Union regarding a $2.787 million payoff. What happened was Floyd took out a large loan against the value of the jet. So when the jet was sold, a large chunk of the money went to pay off the loan and many of his other debts. Here's the payoff demand statement for the jet. Highlighted is borrower named Floyd Mayweather. The total loan payoff is around $2.79 million, and the highlight in the bottom left is the property collateral as the Gulfstream Learjet. This is the bank wire transfer receipt from the credit union. Both of these documents were sent to Floyd, so he's clearly lying about the jet only selling for $1 and him being out of the know on the jet selling. The picture on the left is Floyd signing the contract, and the picture on the right is Floyd holding the aircraft purchase and sale agreement right after signing it. Does he look disappointed in the terms of the sale? This is the text Jonah sent to Floyd in September 2025, indicating that the house and airplane contracts were done, and Floyd responded, "Let's go." To make it even more clear that Floyd knew about the plane purchase and the terms of the purchase and sale, here's a text between Floyd and Jonah where Floyd writes, "Can you call me about the plane, please? I need for you to update me, please." And Jonah responds,
The question of how someone who earned nearly $1 billion could face financial difficulties comes down to spending habits and extremely high ongoing costs. Sports finance specialists and boxing figures such as Bill Haney have publicly discussed Floyd's financial situation, arguing that his lifestyle requires enormous amounts of money to sustain. According to these observers, maintaining that level of luxury becomes far more difficult when there are no major fight earnings regularly coming in to support the expenses.
A lot of the fighters, like, why do they keep getting caught up with taxes? They talk about Floyd getting caught up, Mike Tyson getting caught up.
Well, that's the financial literacy component that we always, you know, that everyone kind of whispers about, right? Yeah, they whisper about, right? Is you know, the outgo not matching the income. You know what I mean? I think that was one of the things that I spoke with Floyd about, being an example of blowing the dough. For the kids to have that as, and then, you know, it's one of those marketing tactics, I believe, that you're going to spend the money, show that you can spend the money. Secretly, you're making a whole lot, but you're creating an image for kids to follow that's not necessarily conducive to financial literacy.
But can we all just get along? Because you come from the Bay, you grew up a certain way. He's from Flint, Michigan.
Right.
He grew up totally different. His father was a boxer. Did you have a box already?
Yeah. But I'm saying this though, but when you get, it's cool when you singing and you tricking your money off, but when you getting punched in the head, it's kind of different. It's some different type shit. When you getting punched, your life is on the line, you know what I mean? And you see the way most fighters, you see how most fighters end up.
Yeah.
According to various analysts, Floyd's monthly expenses are believed to range between $1 million and $3 million due to staff salary support for people around him and reported gambling-related costs. In addition to those obligations, reports state that a judge ordered him to pay close to $1 million in overdue child support, along with a monthly payment of about $33,000 to a former dancer. Financial experts note that when major sources of income slow down or disappear, while spending continues at an extremely high level, even a fortune can shrink rapidly over time.